Alright, welcome to HRL Season 7, round number 8, Moto 2 here at Gotti GP. Go through the starting lineup, inside, 2 outside. Make sure I get this right. Sector, Shift, Ramda, Camby, Vulcan, Hunter, Fireball, Roman, Real Deal, Luke, and Detail. Nailed it. And same thing as last Moto, so we're going to do a grenade start. And Justin will be throwing the grenade here any moment. Should be visible this time. I did a crappy job last time. There it is. And we're green. Good job on everybody in the field. That was a pretty clean start right there. I didn't see any jumps. Whoa, some major cheese there on the inside. 4 wide. Oh, someone's going down. Several people going down. This is absolute chaos here. Oh my god. That's more like it. That's more what I expected that section to be like on the start. God. That was dumb. Off to the early lead is going to be Sector. Still holding on to it. Oh, now that I think about it, there is a grab volume on this track, so Shift was right. But the only spot where there's a grab volume, if there wasn't, you would literally die. See, even if you put a some people, even if you put a grab volume in a spot where it makes sense, they still complain. I could put a grab volume that saved you from falling off the track, and they'd be like, there's a fucking grab volume on the track. This track's a piece of shit. Some people, man. Real Deal competing for the lead here on Justin. Justin looks like he's going to have that lead short-lived. I could put a grab volume on the track that brings Albert Einstein back to life, and people would be like, fucking grab volumes, man. Alright, Roman here going for second on Sector. Diving for it, not quite able to get there though. Gonna try to get him on the crossover, not gonna happen. See if there's any pit takers in the first lap. And we do. Luke takes his pit on the first lap. Anybody else? Nope, looks like he's going to be the only one. So interesting pit strategy there. We have some Hunter pit strategy coming out of Luke taking the pit on the first lap. Say that because Hunter did the same thing on Concilium. Very riskily, but he was able to pull it off. That one was a little less risky. But I don't know if anybody remembers it, but at Concilium, Hunter goes for the pit on the first lap and just like almost kills everybody because it was very last second. It was very close, but he did pull it off. I gotta add a new thing in the docs where in Adrenaline they had a column for the pit. So if I did that, then I wouldn't need to go back and see what people picked as their pit. You know what I mean? I could just put their pit in, and I would know. I'd be able to review the pits a lot easier. I can't believe Roman hasn't gotten by Sector yet. He is still battling super hard for second with Sector. I cannot believe that he hasn't passed him yet. This is actually incredible. Real Deal's opening up the biggest lead of all time because of this. So he should have him here. He should have him. There we go. Roman, a lap later, takes over Sector for second. Oh, we might see a battle here. Camby has a fat run. Look at him go. He's going to pass him before they even get to the corner. Camby's going to overtake that spot on Vulcan. Ramda there behind him trying to stay in it. Second Moto so far pretty good. Let's see if we have any pit takers this lap. I have a feeling we might. I feel like we should. At least one, right? Yeah, we do. Maybe two. No, one pit taker. Let's see who it was. It was Vulcan? It was Vulcan. Vulcan takes his pit. So as far as I'm going to try to keep track the best that I can. As far as I can tell, Vulcan and Luke have both taken their pits. I don't think anybody else has. I could be wrong. I might have missed one, but I don't think anybody else has. But so far, Moto 2 looking really solid compared to Moto 1. Moto 1 had a good top 5 battle for a while, and then it kind of just deteriorated because of some bad pit strategy. But this one's looking like it might have a better battle throughout the race. We have a lot of fast drivers still stuck in the back as well. And look at this. I think that's Sector still in third. Can't believe that. Really can't believe that. Or maybe it wasn't. It might have been Detail. Ah, yeah, it might have been Detail. Where is Sector, though? So the leader, that's Real Deal right there. Roman and oh, Roman made up a ton of ground. That is Sector in third. Detail's in fifth. Camby's in fourth. There we go. Makes a little bit more sense. And the early pit strategy could be paying off for Luke because you have 3 people right there that haven't taken their pit. It's right there behind him. But so I'm going to watch this play out because it's kind of interesting. This is where early pit strategy gets kind of risky, right? So it creates this situation where in order for the risky pit strategy to work out for Luke here, or I could use Vulcan as well, but I can't tell where he is on the track. Vulcan's really far behind, so he's not really an example yet. So it puts you in a situation where he either needs all of these people in front of him to just pit and, you know, let him pass them essentially because they pit in front of him, or you need to work your way by them very quickly so you don't lose too much time. Because if it takes you way too long to pass people in this type of situation, then an early pit is definitely going to hurt you. But if you're able to pass people very quickly and very efficiently, or if they pit in front of you and you just pass them that way, that's a case where early pit strategy could really, really pay off. And it's getting close there. Looks like he might have that position on Camby. And also Roman, meanwhile, has been making fat gains on Real Deal. He is like, he's not like right on his bumper quite yet, but he is getting close. So I'm going to try to keep my eye on that. I'm also going to look at pits next lap because I think some new people should probably pit next lap. I would assume at least one person does. Yeah, so it gets interesting with the early pit strategy because you really need to, I don't know, you need to either, whoa, Armada, that move did not work out. You either need to have some things go your way, essentially, and have, like, people do what you need them to do at the right time, or you just need to be really good at passing, and you need to just be, your passing needs to be on point, you need to be really fast at the track. And if you have those two things, then yeah, early pit strategy could really work out. But obviously, if you don't, then early pit strategy could really screw you over. We've seen early pit strategy screw some people over. But it could work both ways. It really just depends. Real Deal and Roman kind of maintain their gap that time by. And this third, fourth, fifth place right here, I'm assuming that is Detail right there. Any pit takers? So Camby's going to take his pit. He might be the only one. Yeah, Camby's going to be the only one. He's going to come out in last. Right? Yeah, I think so. Camby's going to come out of the pits in last, but I think there's a lot of people that still need to pit in this race. I think there's at least like over half the field I think still needs to pit. So if I was Camby, I'm not too worried about that. So that means it's still Real Deal, Roman, Detail. That's your top 3. Then right here, 4th, 5th, and 6th. This is a big battle on track. We have, oh crap, we have Sector, Hunter, and Luke here for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Sector's still in the top 5. This is absolutely ridiculous. But you also got to think Sector and Hunter, even Detail, even Real Deal and Roman, actually. Luke's the only person in the top 6 that has done his pit. Everybody else, everybody in the top 5 still needs to pit. Fireball right there in 7th, I think still needs to pit. Could be wrong. I'm not exactly sure. And there might be a... Oh, Sector goes down. He's going to lose tons of spots right there. Might even lose to Fireball after that. I think there might be another person that's outside the top 6 that needs to pit still as well. I think Shift does. And maybe Armada too. So a lot of people still need to pit, and there's not that much time left in this race relatively. I don't think there is, because I know these races go by pretty quick. So I might check it here in a minute. Let's watch the pits this time by. I have a feeling that the leaders are going to pit. Ooh, Detail with a slight mistake right there, spinning out in the downhill, definitely going to hurt his time, and I was right. Yeah, let's go. Real Deal's going to go in for his pit, but he makes a mistake. You don't see it in theater, but he actually forgot to reload his Magnum before the start of the race, so he had to fully reload his Magnum before even starting shooting it. And you see he comes out behind Detail right there, which isn't that bad, right? He comes out behind Detail, so that's not that bad. But still, like, that screwed him up a ton. And Roman, I think, has his Magnum reloaded, so that's going to be a big advantage for Roman there. He might be the favorite to win this. He might come out in the lead. And Detail's got to make some fat gains now that he's in front of Real Deal to try to, you know, take advantage of that pit and actually keep this spot after the pit. And I'm going to check this real quick. So it's 33, right? 33:45. So we're at about 2 minutes to go right now. So a lot of people, like I said before, still need to pit, and they are running out of time. They need to pit very soon. They need to pit very soon coming up here. I think we might see a lot of people pitting, like potentially 2 people this upcoming lap. If not, then I don't know what these guys are doing. Like, it's getting to the point where you guys need to pit. But you see Roman with the huge lead. Still hasn't taken his pit. You got Detail in second, also hasn't taken his pit. Hunter right there. So Real Deal and Luke definitely going to benefit off of that. They should both gain some spots here when Detail and Hunter pit. And that could be a battle for the top 3 as well, with Luke not too far behind Real Deal. So depending on how fast he gets by Hunter. And I'm trying to keep my eye on Roman here, because I think he might pit into the downhills. Oh, Hunter spins it. And that's going to allow Luke to get by him there, and that's huge. I think Hunter's probably going to take his pit this lap as well. Roman going in for his pit. That was kind of crappy. That was already kind of bad. Completes his pit. He's going to come out behind Real Deal. That was a horrible pit out of Hunter. He's definitely going to come out behind Real Deal. Hunter also taking his pit. And another driver. Wow, that was horrible, Sector. What are you doing? Sector also takes his pit. He's going to go to last. That was the worst. I thought Roman's was bad. That was the worst pit stop I've ever seen. He literally took like 5 minutes to line it up. Come on, Justin, you got to be better than that. So Roman, with what appeared to be a pretty crappy pit stop, that's going to hurt him a ton, dude. He's going to fall. He's now got Luke right on his bumper fighting for position, and he has lost that spot to Real Deal, which I think he easily should have been able to hold on to out of the pits. So that's a huge mistake. And then you got Detail here, who is still in front of these guys, but he's still got to take his pit, and he's got to take it very, very soon. So I think he's probably going to be gunning for a 4th or 5th here. I don't think he could do much better than that. It's going to be very tough. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be looking for a 4th or 5th here. And this is going to be 2 to go 100% this time by. So we could have a really good battle here compared to first moto. We could have a really good battle here. Luke and Roman still going at it for what is essentially 2nd and 3rd. And we could see the move here. Luke working his way to the inside of Roman. This is going to be close. They're going to go into the downhill chicane side by side. Can they pull it off? And they do. Great job to both drivers. Very clean, which means this battle is going to continue all the way to the downhill, and it should go to Luke because he's got the advantage in the next corner. And I think Roman's going to back off a little bit there because he knows he's going to try to do some sort of crossover, but it's not going to work, so Roman's going to lose that position, which now puts Detail should be taking his pit. There it is. A really risky pit stop there. I like the... Oh, Fireball still had the pit. That's right. So that means Detail should have potentially 4th. Oh, it's going to be a battle, though. He's going to have to work his way by Vulcan. He comes out behind Vulcan. And Fireball's going to be way back. I don't even know where he's going to be. Let's get back to the lead here. So at this point, there's a battle for 4th and 5th there between Detail and Vulcan, and there's also a potential battle here up front. We just had Luke and Roman battle it out, but Real Deal is in the lead. Let's see if they can make some gains. And it's possible. I mean, we saw Roman make up a pretty big gap on Real Deal before, so it's definitely possible. And we don't have that much time left. I think it's about a lap and a half to go. A Detail and Vulcan battle heating up, so I'll try to keep my eye on that as well, because that is a battle for 4th and 5th, which could be crucial to this overall, actually. So definitely an important battle right there. If Detail doesn't get by Vulcan, it's going to be hard for him to win this overall with these 3, no matter where any of them finish. So that pass on Vulcan is a huge one. It's only 1 point, but it makes a big difference, man. And this can be close because Luke already passed Roman, and Roman's staying right on his bumper. So if they make gains, they're both going to be there. Let's see how they run the downhill chicane. We're able to run it 2 wide, so I imagine by themselves they should be able to run it pretty fast. Both of them run it pretty well. Into the downhill corners. Real Deal a little slow on his brakes there, I think. Coming close to the white flag here. I believe this is the white flag, pretty sure. And we have about an even gap between Real Deal to Luke and Luke to Roman. So this is going to be very interesting because they have like perfectly even gaps. And Luke must have gained a ton of time there. Now right on Real Deal's bumper. So we could see a last lap battle here take place to end off this event. And Roman's not that far behind either. This could honestly be a 3-way battle for the lead. Into the downhill. And Real Deal's starting to drive a little bit protective, and that's leading into exactly what I was saying. Roman is now going to be right there as well. You can tell Luke and Roman both driving very aggressively. Real Deal's now sort of on the defense. Roman getting into the gate, but still, like, not that far behind. He still has a shot at this. Bumper to bumper. Through the downhill, or not the downhill, the neg cambers. Real Deal getting a little bit of a gap that time. But then Luke makes it up in the next corner. Very close. Roman, again, not that far behind either. In the uphill. Through the downhill chicane. And somehow Real Deal does not have that great of a run through it. And it's going to be side by side up the hill. Into the downhill corner. This is it for the race. And Real Deal spins it out. He spins it out in the final corner. Or not the final corner, but the downhill corner. There's still one more corner to go. And makes an aggressive move on Roman, but can Roman hold it off? He gets second gear. He gets second gear out of nowhere and loses second place. What was that? Roman absolutely had it and then just forgot to wiggle the stick or something. So Real Deal really lucked out of that one. That definitely should have been a 1-2 or a 2 position loss right there. But Roman with a very rookie mistake. So that's pretty much about as exciting as a finish to the race as you could ask for. And Detail must have also gotten by Vulcan, so that's a big pass as well. And Fireball actually held on to 6th. I'm surprised by that. Alright, so going through the results. For second moto, it's Luke, Real Deal, Roman, Detail, Vulcan, Fireball, Hunter, Camby, Shift, Armada. That is such a perfect crouch strafe, by the way. What the hell? Sector. And then the overall results are going to be Luke with 33, Detail with 30, Real Deal with 29, Roman with 27, Fireball with 23, Vulcan with 22, Hunter with 21, Camby with 18, Shift with 15, Armada with 15, and Sector for 12. So I was right about the one thing. Detail, that pass on Vulcan was huge. That's what, well, I think he would have got second overall anyways, but in a tiebreaker. Instead he gets second overall by a point, so that was a big pass. It was also a big pass on Vulcan's part, or a big loss of position. Because if Vulcan held on to 4th place, he could have had a tiebreaker for top 5 overall, so that would have been really good for him. And Vulcan, I think I was talking about it in a recap that never got posted. Vulcan is in a position where he's had a really rough stretch of the season. Like, his last few rounds have been really bad. He needs to get some of those good rounds. And right here, 22 points in an overall event, finishing 6th overall. Like, that's a pretty good finish for Vulcan still. So, bringing it back a little bit. But I want to watch something. I want to watch a few things. I want to see how Detail got by Vulcan. So let's see. This is a pretty big pass here. Is this it? So just very aggressive on him right here. Potentially goes for a crossover, maybe? Oh, Vulcan with just horrible brake management. I'm not sure what that was. Yeah, Vulcan basically just gave Detail that position. That was... Vulcan got on the brakes way too early right there. And I want to show this. Oh, I got to go ahead a lap, don't I? So here you have a big mistake out of Roman. So see that? I don't even know how that worked. Real Deal was just turning really hard or something like that. But here you have what should be a definite 1-2 for Luke and Roman when Real Deal spins out here. Right? Like, that should definitely be a 1-2. And Roman, even potentially, with a huge dive right there, Roman could have even competed for the lead, but he didn't have a very good corner right there. But we go here, and Roman, you know, he's probably going to try to protect the inside, as you expect. He doesn't have a very good angle into the corner. Real Deal had a way better angle. And gets a bit of a run, but then loses it on the exit. So, like, right there, that should be Roman's race. And then he just doesn't wiggle the stick, pops the second gear, and just loses that position. So that was just a huge mistake for him, for sure. So unfortunate there. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. I do have to make one adjustment, actually. Fireball had a pit penalty, which is going to put him at which is going to put him at 22 points, which does mean actually that Vulcan does get the top 5 overall. So little correction there. In a tiebreaker, Vulcan does actually get the top 5 overall. So, and for the record, it does not gain Vulcan a point because a pit penalty is not one of the penalties that like loses you positions. A pit penalty is just points. So Fireball loses a point off that. He doesn't lose any positions, just a point. And I showed it in the first moto. It was very close, but it was definitely an out-of-box penalty. So unfortunate there for him. At the same time, though, an out-of-box penalty, not that bad. Like, it's just a 1-point penalty, so it's not that bad. Like, you can work your way back from that.